Warning, warning. As a medical doctor, I must inform you that there are side effects to this coaching session. Beware. It may enhance your self-esteem, cause you to experience vibrant health, encounter long-term weight loss, heal damaged relationships. Warning, there are side effects to this coaching session. It may increase your enthusiasm for life and bring about hope. It may cause you to have productive and optimistic thinking. It could even help you not allow messed up people to ruin the rest of your life and help you realize the masterpiece that you are and empower you to be the boss of your brain. Warning, these side effects may be long-term. This is Dr. Isabel from DoctorOnAmission.com.
The content in this show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended for medical advice. It does not take the place of medical advice or treatment from a physician or health professional. Listeners and viewers should consult their own doctor or a qualified healthcare professional for specific health and wellness concerns and questions. And now, let's start the MD and Chef Team Show.
Hello and welcome everyone to the MD and Chef Team Show. I'm culinary nutrition expert, Chef Michael here, joined as always on the show by my hottie bride, my beautiful wife. We just passed 44 years of being together last week.
Yes, 44,
Beautiful.
44.
Your Doctor on a Mission, Isabel.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome.
You know, I was thinking about you viewers today, you listeners, whether it's watching or listening, and we're going to have a real conversation. That's what we do on the show here. We have real conversation. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if you noticed out there in today's world, but a lot of time when we look at everything on social media or podcasts, videos, whatever, it all looks so beautiful, so wonderful.
Don't believe it.
Everybody's doing so great.
Yes.
And we want you to know that, guess what? We're like you. This week's been a rough week. We've had a very rough week. It's been
lots of valleys.
Lots of valleys. I mean, every week, life always has its ups and downs. But this week, man, I tell you, it's been rough. It's been rough. So I just want you to know in this conversation today, just know that our hearts come out to you, go out to you if your week too hasn't been that great. And hopefully we can bring a ray of sunshine today, some light to you. Just know that we get you. Yeah. We understand, because it's not always butterflies and rainbows out there. There's a lot of life that goes on to all of us. And we're just there right with you. So today, let's have a real conversation. A couple friends hanging out, having a cup of coffee, having a cup of tea, maybe even a glass of Chardonnay. Who knows? Whatever turns you on. So, my dear.
Yes.
Why else do you think people would want to tune in and watch this crazy MD and Chef team?
Well, there's this one model of healthcare that we've been hearing over and over and over again. And when you hear something over and over and over again, you actually believe it. And that model of healthcare is go to the doctor, get a diagnosis, get a pill, or get a referral. And that's the way we believe that healthcare is. And it's crazy for us to think that healthcare starts in a doctor's office. It doesn't. It starts right where you are in your home, or wherever you are right now. And then there's another model. And the other model is your body wants to heal. All it wants is that you give it the right stuff and that you remove the bad stuff so that your body is allowed to heal. So that's another model. And that's the model that we encourage you to understand. Because, back in the days when it was said that the world was flat, that was the story, and that's what people believe.
That was the story.
Yeah, kind of like the first model of healthcare that I just talked to you about. And then we found out that the world is round, and now we believe that model. So I want you to be encouraged that your body truly, truly wants to heal. And that's what we're going to be talking about. And we're here week after week. We're not going anywhere. So we encourage you to come and be with us. We will walk alongside you, encourage you. We got the roadmap. We know where we're going. All you need to do is come on board and we'll show you the way. You just take small, consistent steps. Consistent. So let me ask you, what is our conversation today about today, hon?
Well, our conversation today, as our beautiful producer, Jenna, will bring that up. Thank you, Jenna. Is we're going to talk about the power of consistency. And that consistency, is it for your wellness or for something else going on? By the way, please know the questions and comments are always open during the show. So if you've got something you want to say, even just to pop in and say hello from wherever you're at, because here we are coming to you from New Zealand. So wherever you are, pop in, say hello. If you got a question, we'd love to hear your questions. We're going to get into what is consistency and what are the habits of consistency. Also, we're going to be talking about 5 important questions to ask of yourself about consistency. We're going to have our Franken Food Ingredient of the Week segment. And in today's relationship chat, we're going to be talking about something called cover your mouth.
Cover that mouth.
And then later on, toward the end of the show, we're having our empowerment, inspiration conversation. We're going to talk about having the right attitude. Jam-packed show today.
Love it.
So hang on tight. We got a lot going on.
So welcome. Let's go.
So let's go. Let's get into it.
We got our notes here.
We get our notes out.
Because if we don't have notes, we're going to be pinging all over the place.
We'll be here for the next 4 hours. Hey, hanging out. So consistency. When I'm talking about consistency, I'm talking about the simple daily habits of health that we do over and over and over. I'm not talking about some big giant kaboom, look at me, I'm healthy or I'm not healthy. We're talking about just the daily mundane habits. A lot of times we don't even think about, just like brushing our teeth and breathing. We don't really think about them. Hopefully you think about brushing your teeth, but it's just that habit.
And I just want to interject there.
Yes, here we go.
An
interjection.
Can you imagine not brushing your teeth? I mean, what's the side effect of that besides bad breath?
Bad breath, and you won't kiss me anymore.
Yeah, but also you start getting cavities.
Yes.
Then you got to have drilling in your mouth. So, that's because of course not you, but that's because people decide not to be consistent in a habit that's good for them.
Yes.
I just wanted to throw that idea.
That was very good.
Yeah, that little example.
So, but when I'm talking about consistency, understand that today I want to talk about consistency of quality, consistency that's serving you well for your optimal health. Because we can be consistent, but that consistency might be an unhealthy consistency. We might be doing something consistently, but it's not serving us well.
Like, for instance?
Well, as you just alluded to, not brushing your teeth. Those types of things. So when we talk about consistency, I think a lot of times when you hear that word out there, you think, okay, just doing the right thing every day. Well, yes, but the flip side is making sure that we're not doing the wrong thing every day. So it's making sure that we're on the correct side of consistency going forward. Now, I have a quick question. Why are people not consistent? Because you and I both know this. We're working with many people over many years, and you being in front of at least 500,000 people face to face as a doctor, you've seen where it happens to people when they're consistent, but they're consistent with bad habits.
I know, it's so sad.
Why are people not consistent with good health habits? So one is, it's not the easy way. I'll just give an example of some kind of exercise or working out, even to the simple thing of going for a walk. We're all busy. Everybody's busy. They got so much going on. So we actually have to build in certain habits that serve us well. And it's easy not to. Like, I know today I need to get a workout in. It would be so simple not to, really.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be the easy thing, but I know today's a day where I need to have a workout and I've got to do it. It's not the easy way, but it's the way I need to go.
It's the way you've decided to go.
I've decided to go.
Because we all have free will.
Yeah.
And we all can make the decision yes or no.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So why are we not consistent in a good way is because, well, it's probably because we like to take the easy way, us human beings.
Because we're humans.
Yes. And the second reason is because we usually don't see results right away. Like if you're someone who decides to start working out or maybe eating with a nutritionally good, other types of habits, these are long term. You know, it's like, okay, I'm eating great nutritionally today. I'm having my veggies and good salad and nice protein, some extra virgin olive oil. I'm having quality stuff, nothing packaged today. And I wake up tomorrow and go, well, why am I not in optimal health yet? You know, it's these types of habits are over time. Now, the same thing with poor habits. If I eat French fries and a burger today, am I all of a sudden in bad health? No. But if that becomes my consistent habit over time, yes, it won't be good. So why are we not consistent? Because in a good way, because we don't see the results right away. And a lot of times, maybe even we've done something for a week and been like, well, they put me on this exercise thing for a week or a month or whatever it is. I mean, why do so many people quit the gym after making a resolution, joining the gym on January 5th, and by February 5th, they're not going anymore because you don't see the results right away.
Because everybody
they want to quit.
They want fast results.
Yes.
And that's not the way it is. That's not the way it works, just so you know.
Doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't work that way.
With good consistency, quality consistency. We're talking about quality consistency that serves you to your optimal health long term. Another reason why people aren't consistent in that good quality way is little decisions seem insignificant because the habits we're talking about are just little decisions. You know, if even just very simply from an exercise point of view, if you've just decided that, okay, I haven't been getting much movement. So I'm going to start walking a half hour a day. Seems like an insignificant thing.
Yeah.
Walking a half hour a day, what's the big deal?
It adds up.
But it adds up over time if you haven't been doing anything before, and you're getting going. However, why do we not stay consistent with it? Because it's like, it's actually just kind of a half hour. No big deal. It doesn't matter. But thing is, it does matter over time. So just understand the things we are talking about, the daily mundane habits of consistency that will serve your optimal health, they're usually pretty insignificant on a one-off. But when you stack them up and build them up, they're going to make a huge difference in your long-term wellness.
Yeah. And with that, little decisions seem insignificant. Well, remember the story about the tortoise and the hare? And how the tortoise...
Tortoise and the hare. Well, can you remind me of the tortoise
and the hare, hon?
I know.
You know, it's the tortoise. It's just constant do.
Yes.
Rather, the hare who goes jump, 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 takes short bursts and then stops, and short bursts and then stops. Well, guess who wins the race?
Yeah, the tortoise.
The tortoise, because he's like do. So just be a tortoise.
And so thank you for calling me a turtle. Getting there in the short term and the long term too. So now let's talk about 5 habits of consistency. And remember, consistency can either lead you into a decline of your long-term optimal health, or consistency can lead you to accelerate and serve you well for your long-term optimal health. So consistency habit number 1 is show up for yourself consistently. You're showing up for yourself. the big picture is, and I'll use us as an example, I'll use myself for an example, is my big picture for me is I'm showing up for myself because I want to live a long-term, happy and vibrant life until my last breath.
And I want to keep up with
For
you.
me, yeah. For me is that, yes, but then the side effects of that is I'm also doing that for my wife so I can lead a long-term, happy, vibrant, healthy life with her and do a lot of great things until my last breath. And we have 2 daughters, and to be there for them. And if they decide to have grandchildren, to be there for them. So yes, I'm showing up for myself consistently in a good way, knowing that that's going to have an add-on effect to all the loved ones around me.
And so what does that look like, showing up for yourself consistently? Well, waking up in the morning and getting ready for the day, taking a shower, if the morning shower is your deal, making sure that you drink water as soon as you wake up, because you've been sleeping hopefully for the last 7 to 8 hours. So the key is make sure that you drink at least 500 mils of water. I think that's what, four cups?
2 cups?
2 cups of water?
I think 2 cups.
Yeah, 2 cups of water. Drink that. Just make sure that's the way you start the day. Exercise, make sure that you're exercising, doing whatever you need to be doing. If it's 3 times a day, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever your schedule is. And then food, eating the correct food. Look, there's no such thing as junk food. There's junk, and then there's real food. So you make the decision.
Well said.
I saw that from Mark Hyman's post when I was like, oh, that's really good.
There's junk and then there's real food.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as junk food. It's not even food. You can't even consider it as food. So, make a decision. Is your hand going to be in a bag of potato chips at the end of the day? Or are you going to be eating an apple or eating a salad with your meal? And then sleep. Are you consistently getting ready to have a good night's sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are small, consistent things that you can be doing to show up for yourself. Because you know what? Like I said last week, nobody is coming to do this for you. Michael working out and building these hunka-bunka muscles doesn't make me have the muscles. I have to do my exercise too. I wish it would, but it doesn't happen that way.
No.
You don't make me build muscle by what you're doing. I wish you would, but that's just not the way it is.
So consistency habit number 2 is cultivate a positive outlook. Great example of that was something you and I saw today. We saw it on YouTube. It was a gentleman who was a fighter pilot in the Vietnam War. He was shot down behind enemy lines. He was in a camp, a prisoner of war camp. He had been there for 2 months, and he would be the first one to tell you he was falling apart and he was losing it. What happened you'd have to watch it. I'm sorry, I don't have the gentleman's name. I think it was Plum or Plummer. Colonel Plummer, something like that.
I could find out.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I'll look it up and I'll put it in the show notes if anybody wants to check this out.
Yeah.
But he was just talking about what happened was there ended up being a way that the other prisoners could communicate with each other. And he had been in there for 2 months, and another guy was communicating with him, another fighter pilot that was shot down, who had already been in there for 2 years.
2 years!
And he started passing him messages that basically had a positive outlook. And he was like, the guy said, you are a prisoner in the 8 inches of your mind. You're a prisoner up here. You're a prisoner of the 8 inches of the brain. You're not a prisoner of the cell. You're a prisoner of your own mind. So here's a guy that's already been in for 2 years. I think he said he ended up being in there for 6 to 8 years.
8 years.
8 years, which is crazy in this small
And he survived.
And this guy had been in there for 2 years. He'd only been for 2 months. He's passing on a positive outlook for him. And it helped. He said, that's what changed me, because he said I would have probably died, because after 2 months, I was done. I'd given up.
Right.
I had no hope. And I was mentally just done.
Yeah. And like Michael said, he was a prisoner between the 8 inches between both ears, because he believed that he was a prisoner of war. But he had to change that and say, no, I'm a survivor. no, I'm going to make this through. I'm going to make it through. And now he's going around the world speaking. He's like in his 80s.
Yeah, his
85
80s.
something.
Yeah.
Charles Plummer.
Charles Plummer's
Yeah,
at it.
Charles
Check
Plummer.
him out on YouTube.
Yeah. Inspirational. I mean,
Yeah.
it really helped me,
Yeah.
especially with what we've been going on with this week.
Right. And so no matter what you're going through, one of the things, we hear about this positivity and this is and that's, well, it is true. I mean, if we can cultivate a positive outlook, no matter where we're at, we will stay consistent in a good way with what, we're looking to achieve with our health.
Because we can't control the environment and we can't control other people, but we can control the 8 inches of real estate between both ears.
Excellent. So consistency habit number 3. It
really works. Yes.
Consistency habit number 3. I'm just kind of keeping it rolling.
Yeah, I know. But I could go riffing on that.
Oh, I know. We could riff on each one of these for probably 20 minutes individually.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that to you.
So consistency habit number 3, be committed to long-term success. Because when we're talking consistency, we're not talking about, I mean, yes, if you're 30 days from now, you got something going on and you're trying to fit in your clothes or whatever it may be, or look good or whatever, that's something different. We're talking about long-term optimal success for your health. So be committed to that long-term, knowing that, okay, if I failed today, if I've, went down the tubes a little today and it was all yucky, that's okay. I got to get back on positively, look at my outlook, and I'm committed to my long-term optimal success for my health. And that's your outlook. That's your vision of where you want to go. And that will keep you going forward, staying consistently with the good habits.
And like we have in the kitchen, we've got a sign that says, hold the image. Just hold the image right here in the front part of your brain of where you're going, because you travel by pictures. That's so important, is just make sure you know who you want to become. And though you aren't who that is, that's okay. You're moving towards that. And they do say to just say, I am that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, picture it. So consistency habit number 4, pay the price, invest in yourself. Now, this could be many different things. One of the things we invested in for us was we're not saying don't go to a gym or belong to a gym, but we don't personally belong to a gym. We did kind of a little workout thing at home where we inexpensively got what we needed with weights and a few other things and kind of set something up in a space we've got at home. And we're able to work out together and create something really great at home. So we invested in that. We invested in some courses, some coaching, some other different areas in health. We invested in different things.
Lots of books.
Yeah. And so I'm talking about investing in yourself in a way where you're saying, okay, I do want my long-term optimal success in my health to my last breath. What am I willing to invest? Is it time? Is it money? Is it listening? Is it reading? Is it resources? What may it be? Because it's understand that's you investing in yourself to move you forward to be who you want to be.
Well said.
Thank you. Consistency habit number 5, integrity.
Integrity.
What are you doing?
What does integrity mean?
I'm about to say.
Oh, okay. Sorry, hon.
I was having a pause.
Yeah.
I was building with the pause.
Pause.
Integrity.
Pause.
What are you doing when no one is looking? And this is the thing. Maybe you're on your own. Or maybe you're in a situation where, your partner, your spouse, husband, wife is away, and then you got things to do, and this is and that's. What are you doing when no one's looking? Are you staying consistent? Just as an example, let's just say, this hasn't happened, but let's just say Isabel's away for a week for whatever reason. Do I then at home decide I'm not going to work out this week? I'm going to have burgers and fries and pizza and this is and that's every day. Am I going to go out, drinking alcohol and doing all kinds of stuff that I would never do? because I know it's not good for my health, but no one's looking. It's just me. So, hey, I'm going to do all this stuff.
I don't see it.
No, I'm not going to, but I'm just saying integrity. We think about, oh, that's when I'm with people or not, but it's really about what are you doing when no one's looking? Are you staying integrous for your own success? Because only you know what you're doing. And are you staying integrous to yourself and your success?
Good point.
Anything else you got there?
No, I have, let me see. Nope. I just know that we're ready for our.
Well, we are going to come. We're going to take a short commercial break, but after we come back, we're going to be talking about 5 very important questions to ask us, because now we've got some habits, but now we want to ask some questions about ourselves, about consistency. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll hear from one of our sponsors of today's show. And also, there's going to be a very important message from Isabel and I that we want to share with you.
For you.
All right. We'll see you right after the break.
Hi, Joel Maurer, founder of Dink Ninjas. Dink Ninjas was dreamed up and started right here in Austin, Texas, a dynamic pickleball community. We arm pickleballers with the paddles, apparel, and accessories to dink like a ninja. Dink Ninjas is dedicated to supporting mental health awareness and cancer research. Shop our full lineup at dinkninjas.com.
And as a medical doctor trained in mainstream medicine, I know what they have to offer for anxiety and depression. A 15-minute consultation, probably medication, and a referral for counseling. But here's the deal. Mainstream medicine, where it is right now, is not equipped to get to the root cause, the real reason of your anxiety and depression. I know that you are a unique individual and you don't fit into a little box, and you deserve a personalized approach to your specific concerns. We would.
And that's why we created the Freedom from Anxiety and Depression one-on-one personal coaching program. It's your practical guide to a system that actually works.
You know our story. You know our values. Your next step is to click the link, fill out the application, and we promise to get back to you in 48 hours. Until then, remain unstoppable and have a super fantastic day. Mwah! Talk to you later.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Welcome back, you healthy brain enthusiasts. We are so glad you're here. I just want to say a little something about that commercial. Michael and I have decided to open up the floodgates for the anxiety and depression program that we've got. And please go ahead and fill out the application, and we promise to get back to you in 48 hours. One of the things that I've learned from experiencing anxiety and depression as a medical doctor in the system, in the mainstream medical system, is after I've been way over on the other side and healed, and I know how to stay away from all the things that cause my anxiety and depression, I've come to understand that if I could just say one thing to my colleagues, my medical colleagues, and that is that there is a neck, and the neck connects the brain to the body. It's not just the brain and you deal with anxiety and depression. It's actually, you've got to look at the whole body. Because you know what? Nobody in mainstream medicine is really looking at your gut health, at your nutrition, at your sleep, at your stress. There's so many things that pertain to cause anxiety and depression. So I encourage you to fill out the application, and we promise to get back to you, okay? All right.
And I'll make sure I put the link in the show notes also.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay, now back to the show. We're talking about consistency, and consistency for your long-term optimal health into your last breath. The good consistent qualities, or consistency can lead you down a poor health path. Which way are you going to go? So now let's talk about 5 very important questions to ask yourself about your consistency, your consistent daily habits as applied to health. Number 1, is this habit moving me forward or backwards toward my goal of optimal health? Think about any individual habit that you might be doing during the day. Is this moving me forward toward great optimal health? Or is this habit
Pulling you back?
Pulling me backwards or sending me down a slippery slope of poor health? Just take any habit, think about that, apply that question to it, and then you can say, yeah, that's a great habit, or, ooh, I got to kick that one out.
Yeah.
That's got to go.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Okay. Important question number 2. Am I intentional with my habits? And I just want to read a little bit about what that means, because we hear this word intentional. But being intentional means making deliberate choices to reflect what is most important to you. Becoming intentional can help you maintain a positive mindset, reach your goals, experience more clarity, and be more present. It increases our focus and commitment and brings more purpose and meaning to our lives. Because a lot of times when I'm talking about being intentional to our habits, that means, am I committed to that habit? Am I saying, yep, I'm committed to that habit? Now, understand, a lot of times we might say, yeah, I really want to be intentional with that habit. I really want to be committed to it, but I'm just so busy. The thing is, we understand that.
Right.
I haven't run across anybody and I've been on this planet for almost 67 years now, and I haven't run into anybody for a long time who said to me, I'm not really busy. I got nothing going on. I'm not really busy. My life's I just kind of hang out, nothing, I mean, anytime, I don't know about you, but when I ask somebody, hey, how's it going? The first thing I hear is the badge of honor. Oh, busy. Oh, we're busy. Yep, busy. And even those are the ones that are retired. So that's that, so we're all busy. So it's understanding that being intentional is not a time problem. It's a commitment problem, meaning that, am I making a commitment to this? Am I going to allocate the time? Because I can guarantee you can find the time if you drop some of the other things that aren't serving you well. I know. Is that 2 hours of TV at night serving you well? Or is that other habit that you've got serving you well? And, can I carve out a half hour over here to do a walk, to do some exercise?
Or do some study to help you become better.
Yeah, can I do that and drop those other things to be more intentional about what I'm trying to achieve here?
I love the word intentional because it helps me. The picture I get is like binoculars, and you're just looking.
Laser focus.
Yeah, that laser focus action. And that's what gets you to succeed, is having that laser focus, intentional.
Yes.
Process.
That
works.
That works. All right, very important question number 5 to ask yourself about consistency. Does this habit make me grow? Meaning that we had talked about investing in yourself. The thing is, what I needed to understand for the health goals that I had 15 years ago to get to where I wanted to go, that 8 inches between the ears needed to change. I needed to invest in some things to understand that I needed to grow as a human being to become where I wanted to be with my optimal health. I needed to learn some things. I needed to change some things. I needed to become better who I am. So does the habit make me grow in a way that, yes, this is moving me toward my goal? Yes, this is making me, a better human being on this planet. That's an important question we should all ask of ourselves.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Thank you. Very important question about consistency, number 4. If I keep up these habits, where will I be in 1, 2, or 5 years?
Ouch.
Let's just keep it simple. Where will I be in 1 year? Life happens over daily mundane habits, stacking up day upon day upon day. If I keep up this habit, maybe I'm talking about, if I keep up my good oral health and brushing my teeth and flossing and cleansing and doing all the things I need to do for my oral health, will my mouth be in a great shape, my oral health? Or if like, every once in a while I'll do something, brush my teeth or do something, la, la, la. In a year from now, will I have gum disease? Will I be heading down a poor path of oral health?
And less kisses.
And less kisses. Yeah. Because it doesn't happen in that one day. It happens over time.
Yeah.
If I have burgers and fries or takeouts once a week, is that habit going to serve me over a year? What if I make it once every 2 weeks? Because I'm not saying don't ever have anything that,
Yeah.
You're treating yourself, but
that,
it's
the treating.
It's that
80-20
daily
rule.
habits. It's those, how often is that? Is that now become, because what I have seen, people will start with doing the takeaways or the takeout food or the drive-through or the fast food. They'll do that one day a week as a habit, going, yeah, that's okay. One day a week, not a big deal. And as time goes on, you'll check back and hey, AC from sunny California, great to see you. You'll check back with them and they'll be going, now we do it twice a week, but that's okay. It's not a big, and it just slides.
Slides downward.
So if I keep up these daily habits, keep it simple, where will I be 1 year from now? If they serve you well, fantastic. Do you think, they're going to send me down a slippery slope? Kick them out. Very important question number 5 to ask yourself about consistency. Does this energize me? Now I'm talking about long term. I'll use exercise as a point of view.
Who likes to exercise,
Yeah, if I do 30 minutes a day of resistance work or something, doing it with weights and all that kind of stuff, does it energize me? Well, not thinking about doing it. Probably not for the first 5 minutes when I'm like, but once I'm into it and when I'm done, I feel really good because I know I served myself well.
Michael and I will start like a really hard workout, like a pyramid workout with weights and stuff. And the first 10 minutes were really quiet. Wow, I am not going to let anything come out of my mouth because I have nothing positive to say. But then as the time goes and we finish, we're like, whoa, that was great. I'm so glad I got that done.
Yeah. So when does it?
So it does energize you. It does, but not right away.
Not in a quick temper. And long term, it energizes you because the better shape you're in, like that physically, the more energy you will have. The better you eat nutritionally. Yes, in day one, am I going to be like, wow, I'm just energized? Well, maybe not necessarily, but as time goes on, you will find in the long term that good nutritional eating, you will be energized because you are fueling your cells. You are fueling your body, understanding that every spoonful, every bite that we eat, every gulp that we drink is the energy, the fuel for our body systems functioning. And if it's not good, you're not going to have a lot of energy because the body's just going, oh man, I need some good stuff here to function. This isn't working.
Right.
When you put the good stuff in, you are energized. Isabel, a lot of times people say to Isabel and I, wow, you guys are always up and then. I'm like, well, first off, not always. As we said at the beginning of the show, we got blasted this week from life and it was a rough week, but overall, because we're fueling our body for success from a nutritional point of view and making sure we keep energized with movement, even if it's just today, I might only get out for a walk for a half hour or 45 minutes today. It's just, and we know that releases stress too when you're taking care of yourself because stressors are so heavy and they weigh us down. So just think, does this energize me and will it energize me long term? You might think, well, right now, I don't want to do it. I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about, is this serving you well long term to energize you? Yes. So I've got a big take home for all that we've talked about with consistency. Power of consistency can work for you. When we hear consistency, that's what we normally think. But the power of consistency can also work against you, because you can be consistent with poor habits. Your health depends on the power of consistency in your daily mundane habits. You can easily get off course by time goes by.
And I did want to share the idea of, when a space shuttle goes out into the atmosphere to go and hit a target, be it the moon or wherever it's supposed to go, NASA is where it's helping it stay consistent. Did you know that 97% of the time that a space shuttle goes out, it's off course? 97% of the time. The other 3%, it's on course because NASA, is course correcting, being consistently course correcting to help that space shuttle hit its target. So this is just a principle that you have to implement in your life. It's not straight to the target. It's kind of like this, but you are ground control.
Yes.
Yeah.
You consistently have to guide yourself
to where you want to go.
Where you're going, because I can guarantee you, if you don't pay any attention to what's going on in your daily habits, they will slide. Yeah. That's just us human beings, because that's the easy way. They will slide, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? Which I did at the age of 50.
Yeah.
Because they kept sliding, and I went, oops, how did I end up here in this not so good place?
By your choices.
Yeah.
By choices.
The daily mundane habits over time.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that your past or your present, the cool thing is that your future doesn't rely on your past or your present. Why? Because you can change at any time. I'm a firm believer that you can change your course at any time, regardless of where you are in life. Right, babe?
Right on.
Right, babe?
Right on.
Yeah.
So there's the power of consistency. Is it serving you or sending you down a slippery slope of ill health? Questions and things to think about. All right. Hey, so let's get into the next segment. We're going to talk about the Frankenfood ingredient of the week. Da, 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 da. Danger, hazardous chemicals. Yes. And that's why we talk about this.
You love this part.
I do, because this helped me out so much. I never read labels. I never understood what was in stuff, never paid attention to it. And I really I share this with you just so you know that, listen, we can't avoid all this stuff that I'm talking about as I talk about different ingredients in foods. We can't avoid it 100%. Even if we go out to eat, who knows what we're getting in some of the foods when we're out there. I mean, we can't just find out about every little thing going on if we went out to eat. But again, my purpose is so that you are aware, so that you are able to say, okay, I understand some of this. And when I read a label and see this ingredient, I say, oh, wait a second. Ooh, okay. I have a choice now. Do I really want to grab that and think about having that in my body systems or not?
Right.
So this week's Frankenfood ingredient of the week, and Frankenfood stuff is not food, it's things that are created in laboratories, and they call it food, is caramel color. So caramel color.
Why would they, what's the purpose of caramel color?
Well, I'm actually going to pass that on.
All right, here it comes. Let's do this.
Well, it's a brown food coloring, chemically made, that has zero nutrient value in food. So it's adding absolutely nothing to your body systems that your body can say, hey, wow, that's great. I'm going to use that for fuel. No, it has zero. It's only added to enhance the appearance of certain foods and certain drinks. So it's the food industry saying, well, this food or drink doesn't look good enough for you. Your eyes probably aren't going to think it's good enough. So we're going to enhance it with some artificial type thing, ingredient that we've created that's going to change the coloring of it. So you think, oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, I can see that's good. Just understand that the research shows it has been linked to cancer.
Fancy that.
Yeah. Now you will also see in research out there about caramel food coloring, caramel color in foods, that you will see some research papers say there is a safe level. You will see others say there's a toxic level. So what they're saying is, well, we know this is toxic, but there's certain levels you can go up to. Well, when I hear that, that's like saying, well, yeah, you can have a little bit of this poison and it's okay. I'm like, no, I don't want any of it. I mean, if it's got links to cancer, what are you saying? So the more I have, the higher chance I have of getting cancer, or the more I have, the worse poison it is for my system. So, I can have a little bit of poison, but that's okay. There's already enough junk out there. Why do I want to add even more on? Now, where this is found mostly is in cola, C-O-L-A, cola soft drinks or soda pop, whatever you want to call it, your part of the world. But cola drinks usually have caramel color in, just to give it that cola look to it. It's actually found in pancake syrups. It's found in a lot of coffee shop syrups.
And you do remember, that line of syrups.
Where they have the syrups up in the back, and, you might say, oh, I'd like it with this. I don't even know because I don't do this, but I know Starbucks has it. There's many others that have it, and they have all the other flavors in the little pump bottles they can put in. Well, a lot of anything that's got that kind of darker color, that is going to have a caramel color additive to it. And you're just getting a syrupy, sugary, cancer-linked caramel color flavor to it.
Who needs it?
And look, certain cereals have caramel color. Deli meats is another one. Sometimes it's added to deli meat. It's to give it a certain look, a certain color look. And certain packaged and canned soups have caramel coloring to it, just to give it a look. Maybe it might be a beef type of soup or a certain type of soup. They want to bring a little more brownness to it, and they'll have caramel color in there. So be aware, if you read labels, hopefully you do, look out for caramel color in there. Totally up to you. Again, if you look it up in research, some will say, oh yeah, you can have a little bit of it. And others say, okay, here's the level you can have. And then after that, it's toxic. I prefer not to even bother having it at all, because if there is a toxic level, then I don't even want to think about any of it.
And I love that you bring this to the table so that people can be aware.
Yeah.
So
thank
you know what's going on out there.
Now we're on to our next segment.
It's called Relationship Chat, because Michael and I want to see people stay together. We want to see marriages healed and stayed and glued together. So we go ahead and do just a little blip on this part. And I've entitled this as Cover Your Mouth.
Cover your mouth, the relationship chat for this week. I am excited to hear. I have a little inkling because I've got the notes.
Because you got the notes.
But
yeah.
you put this one together, my dear.
Yeah.
And after a 44-year anniversary celebration last week, I want to hear what you've got for the Cover Your Mouth, because this should be interesting.
Yeah, well, I've learned how to do it more and more, and still have to. Have you ever said something and just after it came out of your mouth, you wished you could grab it and pull it back in? Essentially, you wished you wouldn't have ever said that. Well, I know. Jenna says, yes, me too. And so I just want to teach you a little something about this, okay? So the Greek sage Publius said, I have often regretted my speech, but never my silence. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Sometimes you just need to sit there and listen and not let the first thing come out of your mouth, because it can hurt. And King David in the Bible said, I will watch my ways and keep my tongue from sin. I will put a muzzle on it. So if you know what a muzzle is something, it's kind of like, looks like this. It's kind of like a knitted piece of material that goes over a dog's mouth, over the dog's nose.
Yeah, nose and mouth.
Yeah, nose and mouth. So that the dog won't do anything dangerous, like bite somebody or eat poisonous food. So how do we go ahead and muzzle our mouth? How do we go ahead and cover our mouth? Well, I've got a couple of tips. Tip number one is first, pause. Before you say anything, just pause for 10 seconds and think, if what I'm going to say out of my mouth, is it going to lift somebody up? Is it going to be encouraging? Is it going to be positive? Is it going to be necessary? Is it going to be kind? Is it going to be gentle? Is it going to be loving? Ask yourself those questions. And if the answer is yes, it's definitely going to say it, then say it. It's going to help. But if it's not going to do any of those, then just keep it back in here. Don't go ahead and cover your mouth. And if you've got to go, then do it. Or you can, if it's not appropriate, just do it in your mind that you're covering your mouth. And then the next tip is talk less. We've been given 2 ears and 1 mouth. And so we're supposed to listen more and speak less. And you know what? When I have done that with Michael and the girls and other people, my relationships, I have noticed that I have learned more about that person because I'm hearing them. I'm not the one speaking. I'm hearing them. And then I'm able to, if they ask for an opinion or if they ask a question, well, what do you think? Well, then they're asking me, well, then it's time to open my mouth. And the third tip is you can go ahead and begin today with this. All you need to do is think first, is this going to be helpful or not helpful? And talk less and listen more. And just watch your relationships. Just go ahead and implement it and see how it goes. I'd love to hear your feedback on that.
I have to agree with everything you said there. I mean,
because we've learned the hard way.
We've learned that, I mean, you and I, in our own ways, did that at the beginning, saying, I mean, I don't think we were ever really, really nasty, but, at the beginning, we'd have harsh words and then when you start to, when you stop and you listen and you hear the other person's side as far as how they are feeling or why they said what they said or they came to, you start to get a little more of an understanding and maybe gain some empathy and some insight. And then you go, oh, okay, well, now I understand. Gosh, I was just shooting my mouth off. I should have, all right, sorry about that, And, so we all do that as human beings. We want to be heard.
Yeah.
I want to get my word out. I want to be heard. And so that's a struggle for all of us. It's not us, but then I'm not saying it's just any of you listening and watching today. It's you individually, but it's all of us as human beings. We want to be heard. It's all about us. So this is a real great skill with relationships to, even if you feel that the other person is wrong or maybe something's harsh, just take that pause, nod your head like, okay, I'm thinking about this, and just take a break on it, and listen, because it might uncover something you didn't realize, even possibly about yourself, that you'd be like, oh, okay, wow, all right, now I do hear what you're saying. Okay, maybe I'm changing my thought process on what I was just about to go bleh with my mouth.
Right.
Yeah, so I love this.
Good.
This is very, very good, hon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Do you have a great inspiration and empowerment to leave everybody with today?
Yes. Having the right attitude, how important it is to have the right attitude when life goes kapow to you. Life's going to happen. That's just the way it is. I read a story about I've been reading a lot about soldiers and war heroes. I read that during the Korean War, when U.S. Chester Puller found himself surrounded by 8 enemy divisions, his response was, okay, they're to the left of me, they're to the right of me, they're in front of me, they're behind me. They can't get away from me now. I mean, is that a wonderful way of looking at the whole situation. Okay, I see where you are now. I know where the enemy is.
Yeah.
You know? So in life, there will be challenges. There's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. It's inevitable. It's just the way life is. But just when you find yourself in a really hard place, you have two choices. One choice is having a bad attitude and letting the situation win over you and you feeling like the victim. Because remember, the greatest real estate is the 8 inches between your ears. Are you going to be a victim or are you going to be a victor saying, no, I've got this. You know, I'm going to win this battle. This battle is not going to overcome me. Or the second choice is, well, that's the second choice, is having the right attitude. The first choice is having the wrong attitude and then being overtaken by the situation. It's our choice. We get to decide what kind of attitude we get to have. And that has been very important during this last week for me and for you.
And for me, because like I said at the beginning of the show, we've had a rough week. So a lot of stuff has happened. But we've had to check our attitude constantly throughout the week so we don't crumble and just whine and complain and, oh, woe is me and all this and that. Yeah, you have that. And I'm not saying, you don't have that for a moment or two, but it's when you check your attitude and start coming out the other end of it. And some things came up through the week where, others might have contacted us where their situations were incredibly horrible. You gain that perspective also too. And just us as human beings, it's our attitude through our life that's going to keep us moving forward, instead of, so do we take that positive attitude moving forward to keep going, or do we crumble under our own attitude
and let the situation win?
Yes.
It's our choice. Well, we've come to the end of the show, the MD and Chef Team show, and we want to just say it's time for us to say goodbye. But we'll be back next week, and we encourage you to come back and be with us week after week. Look, our goal is to help you emotionally and physically be your best, because you know what? That's the best way to live our lives, is to feel our best. So that's what I just wanted to close it with.
And I want to say, hey, if you're watching us, seeing this on YouTube or wherever you may be, and you haven't subscribed to the show, well, smash that subscribe button, because we know about 70% of you are watching the show, but you're not subscribed. Well, then you are not finding out when the show is coming up next. When you subscribe, you hear what's coming up next. You get to read about what's next week, and you can go back and check it all out. So smash that subscribe button, you 70%ers out there, because we want to have you along for the ride here at the MD and Chef Team show.
Or you can kapow it.
There you go. Hey, and thank you from the Yes Life Golf for popping on by. We saw that come in there.
Are they in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
cool.
Golf pro,
Oh, yeah.
and a couple friends of his. They have a fantastic YouTube channel themselves about golf and travel here in New Zealand.
Excellent.
So check that out, called Yes Life Golf.
Cool.
Thank you very much for stopping on by today at the MD and Chef Team show. Appreciate you here. We love you. Have a fantastic week, hopefully. And if not,
And where can people find us?
they can find us at DoctorOnAMission.com. Oh, or you can find us online at Doctor on a Mission. If you're looking on social media, that's where you'll check us out at Doctor on a Mission. And if you want to head on over to our website, that's DoctorOnAMission.com. Thank you so much for your reminder. Thank you to
That's
Jenna,
what I'm here
our
for.
beautiful producer, for helping us to make this show go. She makes it all happen behind the scenes. Thank you to everyone. We
Yes,
look forward
thank you,
to seeing
Jenna.
you again next week for the MD and Chef Team show. We've got another biggie coming for you next week. Oh, it's going to be good. Stay tuned.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.